Alrighty, we have a VOX V302E, and we have a unique problem. Vibrato works on just about all the keys except for the B. And what we're going to do, since the vibrato is connected to all of the cards simultaneously, we're going to remove the B card. The vibrato is the second pin in on this particular model, and if you follow it, you will see that it comes into the unit, and then it goes into this capacitor, which is about a 0.1 microfarad, and lo and behold, we find the problem. If you can zoom in there with the camera, you'll see that that's wiggling, and it shouldn't be. The run is actually broken on the board. This is due to transit, taking it on the road. And then what we're going to do to cure this problem is we're going to take our friendly neighborhood X-Acto knife, and we're going to take some of the green coating off the board. We're going to produce a solder bridge over the two. And hold on a second. We're going to tin the area that we're going to be working on. And then we're going to make a bridge. Like that. And it's only a hairline crack, you understand. And now it doesn't wiggle. It's quite solid. We're going to place the unit back in, and we're doing this with power off, by the way. And then we're going to reapply power. Now the B operates. This is the vibrato board in the unit, and we had a lot of trouble with this one. First of all, some of the resistors were a little off their mark. All the capacitors, like the electrolytics, this particular one had a large unit in there that was like 40 years old and bulging like it was about to give birth. And the smaller capacitors were changed, the transistors were changed. We still couldn't get to oscillate correctly. It turned out to be, on the underside of the board, a hairline crack in the board, again from taking this thing out on the road. And what happened is that the hairline crack was underneath a ball of solder, so it appeared that the unit was grounded when in fact it was a high resistance. And that is the reason why the vibrato didn't work. You should be careful when taking any of these types of combo organs out on the road, since throwing them out of the back of your van generally produces a fracture. These are the type of boards that are paper phenolic, and they're great for that. The newer ones don't do that. What we had to do to solve this problem was, first of all, it didn't match the schematic that we had, so we had to sketch it out. And then the second thing we had to do is start measuring base, emitter, and collector voltages for the three transistors. It turns out that the previous owner had a little cannibalization involved, and some of the potentiometers for speed and depth were damaged, and that didn't help any. But when we got to the transistors, none of the voltages were right. And that's what clued us into the fact that it had a high resistance ground rather than a solid low resistance ground path. The voltages were much higher than normal. Instead of being like 1.8 or 2 volts, they were almost 10. And that's a general indication. Since the transistors were known to be good, that's a general indication you lost something. And that's how you find something like that. Now here's an example of capacitors that are still archaic. Some of them are leaking underneath. This is in the preamp. That's going to be changed before this unit goes out the door.